Oh, aye, go sengwele. Oh, wangitwa lelumkele. Do umkele. Wakuhlaba kuzengibe. Do kwethaba. Oh, bayede. Oh, sengwele. Wena wangithalela umkhele lo wamkhele wakuhla uzengibe nokwethaba wawungena sikinkosi
Denkosiam. That beautiful song brought to you by the one and only Nomandla Sandra, one of my favorite songs in the hymn book, Ixilongo Levangeli. Uyezwa noma ulalele ukuthi lo sisi une-Kendesta. She's got that thing. Welcome to the show, Nomandla. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, Sis Nombulelo. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. We talked about Kendesta now. If maybe you can
Yo,
enlighten me. Kendesta. Nanokuthi nje ini Kendesta.
Yo, yini vele
I've
Kendesta
seen you post about it. So ngifuna ukwazi.
No, you know, I think it's something that I grew passionately about. You know, music and ministry has been something that has been in my heart. So, you know what, I need to involve God in this journey of mine. Not necessarily to involve, but I need to make sure that I'm in line with God, because He's already involved since in the beginning of my life. You know, so it's Him, man. I think it's Him. I don't know. Yeah.
No, I totally get you. And before we get ahead of ourselves, let me introduce myself as well to our viewers and just welcome them. This is Gospel News SA live sessions brought to you, obviously, by Gospel News SA. And these are sessions that we're having right now during the lockdown. I mean, people need inspiration, people need something to encourage them. And that's exactly what we're doing on this platform. My name is Nombulelo, formerly known as Chefu. I know most people know me as Nombulelo Chefu, but recently this happened. So I am now Nombulelo Mhlanga. And yeah, I'm chilling with Nomandla Sandra, who's now umnakwethu. Because ngendele ngale. Yeah. Nomandla, like as we begin, you know, can you tell us a bit more about yourself? I mean, you've already touched on the fact that God has always been a part of your life since the very beginning. Ukulele pi, ukulele kaina. And when did your musical journey start?
Okay, I mean, I'm originally from Mpumalanga, in a small village called Converso. I'm so proud of being growing up from there. So I'm from that village, and a very beautiful village surrounded by mountains. So it's so beautiful. And normally when I explain it to people, I'm like, it's like 15 minutes away from Swaziland. So I'm a pure Swati girl. So so yeah, I grew up from there, and I grew up in a family that goes to church, a family listens to see and a family that loves God, and a family that's singing. But I am the star. Joking.
You're not joking. Behind every I'm joking, there's a little bit of the truth. We know.
So yeah, I'm from that family. I grew under the leadership and guidance of my dad, Prophet T. Ndlala, and yeah, you know, this music journey started at a very young age. I remember singing we the youth choir at church, and I was the youngest in that choir, and I was leading songs in international conferences. It was like a big thing for me, but now I get to understand Ugutsi, you know what, this was only God trying to show you Ugutsi, you are going somewhere far than where you are coming from. Oh yeah, that's basically me and my background. Should I add something more?
Fire, girl, fire.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, I continued my music journey from church. I was the international worship leader, so we've got branches all around. We've got some branches in Swaziland as well, and my church is called the Harvest Tabernacle Church. So I was a worship leader there until I moved to come and stay in Pretoria, where I started studying to be a social worker. Initially, I wanted to be a sound engineer, but then, you know, when you're from, yeah, you know, when you're from,
that's very unconventional.
you know what, you know, you know what. So when you're from the villages, you know, there's always this stigma. There's always this stigma attached to some careers that, you know, that's
True.
like a
True.
male-dominated career, so you can't do it. And
Yes.
at
Yes.
the end of the day, you need to come back and feed the family. Where are we gonna get the money from? Sound engineering, you see. So,
Mm.
well, my other passion was the youth and community development. So I came to Pretoria to study that, and graduated as a social worker. And now I'm working as a development worker at a German corporation company.
That's beautiful. I actually wanted to ask you if you are practicing in the
Mm.
career that you studied for, because I know a lot of people will follow or study one thing, but end up
Yeah,
obviously practicing something totally different. Because like
that's
you
me.
said, when you come from a background where they don't really understand your passion and they feel like, no,
Yeah,
that's a hobby, then
yeah,
you know,
true, true,
uba convinced with, no guys, actually there's work, you know, and this thing can
true.
actually feed us. It can take me far in life. So I totally understand, and I think that says you're very brave. um Something else that I wanted to ask is, I mean, you've obviously been in leadership positions from a very young age. So
Yeah,
how did you handle having to lead abantu abadala kunawe? You know, I mean, you there are big branches. Khona bogogo bokhona ekhwayeni, you know, uthi
oh,
gogo ha yena athi ha, and then how do you how do you how do you say gogo no, like uyabhimba, or like how, you know, basically what I'm asking is, how do you what's your leadership style, and how do you handle moments like that where, you know, this is someone older than you and you have to correct them?
okay. No, to respond to the first question, you would say, am I practicing? You know, you describe someone who does something and end up doing something totally different from what they're doing. That's me
Mm,
basically, because I did social work, but I am now practicing as a development worker. I am more
mm.
focused on project management and monitoring and evaluation of farmer projects. Funny enough.
Nice. That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what I'm doing now, and it is. I mean, it has motivated me a lot to a point you could see I actually want to pursue this project management and monitoring and evaluation thingy. So it's a
Mm,
beautiful thing to do. So I wouldn't mind furthering my studies on that as well. And secondly, for the
mm.
leadership positions, yo, Sisi, yo, I grew up with a very strict mother, with a very strict
Okay.
mother who has taught me leadership from a very young age. Mage uyakwazi
Okay.
ukuthi into nangayifuni ukutshela ukuthi, you know what, this is nonsense. You know,
Mm. Straight
uyakwazi
up.
ukutshela
No
like
sugarcoating.
she's so straightforward. So in
Yeah.
most of the times in the positions that I managed at church, especially, I I I I didn't have the full capacity to fly, you know, capacity to ukuthi ngilale nje ngidlondlobale and do what I want to do, because there was always an hierarchy. You know, guys, man, churches from home, there's always hierarchy. So you have to report to
Sure.
someone in order for you to do something. So if you have got this
Mm.
person who's doing something that you don't like, there's always a manner of approach. You'd rather speak to the person in the higher position than you, because of my age as well. Yabo. So uh, it was difficult for me because I had a very bigger vision. I had like, it will be fun, it will be jolly, it will be vibey, but you get like
Yeah,
abantu
yeah.
abadala who will be like, um, "Sicolecela ngolevangeli la. So can we stick to protocol?" You see, so it was very
Please,
difficult for
ungayimoshi
me.
into yethu.
Masimoshela ivangeli. So, but
Ungazomoshi
then
into yethu.
but then I was so grateful for the leadership I received from my dad. I call him my dad, Prophet Ndala, who was always there to provide guidance and assistance in areas where I was confused and didn't know what to do.
That's beautiful. You know, I've got so many questions that I want to ask you, but obviously, I mean, there's a time limitation, trust me, but we'll carry on with the conversation of these platforms. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right now, we're going to play a game. It's called Choose a Square. I'm sure this will remind you of HMA, like that. I like to pick a box. So there's middle center, bottom right. So you get to pick a square, and in the square is a question. So we want to give you a chance to choose your own questions that we get to ask you. So pick a square. What are you picking?
Let's go for middle center.
Top left, middle center.
Middle center.
All right, awesome stuff. So cool. The question in the middle center, eating. Who is your role model? Who do you look up to? Who inspires you, basically?
Sure. I don't know, but I've got a lot. But then there's one person who inspires me a lot. So I'm gonna mention two people who plays different roles in my life. Is my dad, Prophet Ndala. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention that I was adopted to his family, formally so, back in 2008, 2007, and I went to stay with them and the family, and I grew my ministry from there until now. So they became family to me through the adoption. So my dad and my mom, Nomandla, they are my role models, you know, in terms of ministry, in terms of career, in terms of life in general. So they inspire me a lot, to a point you would see, you know, when someone has managed to grow a lot of young people under their hand with not no source of income sufficient enough to raise those children. I mean, those people, for me, they become like role models. I mean, I want to become that kind of a person who would extend help to other people and not expecting anything back from them.
Sure.
You know.
That's beautiful.
So that they really become my real role models. And another one is my mom. You know, my mom is my inspiration every day, guys. I know, like, for some people it will be someone who is big in the industry, but my mom can sing, guys. She can hit a soprano that no one in this world can hit. So like, she's my real inspiration. Yeah, she's very good. She's very good. Just that, you know what, Boma Koko, she doesn't want to expose herself. But then she's my real inspiration. Yeah. She's my real inspiration. She's my motivation. She's my go-to person when I'm experiencing some kind of problems. And I have a very close sister of mine who also plays a very, very important role in my life at this moment. Actually, I went through some things, some depression, and she was there for me. She was there to assist me and hold me by hand until I was totally healed. So like, those four people are my go-to people. They're like the bosses. Yeah.
Nomandla, that's beautiful. I think it's not a lot of people that have the opportunity to have role models, you know. True. And I think that's why most times you'll hear people saying, oh, Beyonce is my role model. Oh, Michelle Obama is my role model, because they don't have examples that are near them. So it's really beautiful that God has given you people in your life that are going to model faith. I think when you spoke about your parents in the faith, one thing that stood out for me about them is their faith given us, and they will do what he says we should do, and he will certainly, definitely provide. And he has. Bega man, so kulile, ufundile, guess. I'm kidding. Yeah. It's time for you to pick another question. I think we'll move on to spin the wheel, okay? So, yeah, we're not going to pick a box again because of time. I mean, we've been talking. We're going to spin the wheel. Our operator, please bring on the wheel. So, spin the wheel. When the wheel is spinning, you're going to say stop. And wherever it stops, that's the question I'm going to ask you. Cool?
Okay.
Awesome stuff. Let's spin the wheel.
Stop.
So it stopped on question 2. Nice. This is fun. What is your favorite travel destination?
It's
because you're well traveled, right? You've traveled. Sure.
Yes.
Sure.
It's Graskop. I want, like, guys, before lockdown, I'd planned to go and do the bungee jumping.
Hey,
Lord have mercy. That's like
that's ease.
That's like the most amazing place. I can go there over and over again. I
what
really
stands
like
out about the place for you?
The heights. The heights.
So you love heights?
I do.
Girl,
I like
girl, you want to die. You want to die.
No, I like taking risks. So I was like, you know what? I want to go there and take a risk and be free. Just fly, release yourself, release everything that's on your shoulders. I want to do that. I want to do that so bad. First thing I'll be doing after lockdown.
Please, girl, just go to Graskop and jump off. We'll be vouching for you. We'll be rooting for you.
I must invite you.
Our next segment, please take me with, please.
Sure.
Our next segment is Sing a Song. So you choose a tile. There's a couple of tiles here that are there.
Okay.
And yeah, you pick a tile. I'm not sure if our operator is going to come on and help you pick, or I just give you the options and then you pick. I'm trying to figure out here if it's my duty to tell you. All right. Okay. So let me give you the options, right?
Okay.
So you can sing us a song about grace, love, loss, mercy, faithfulness, and the resurrection. Yeah, those are your options.
Okay. I'm going to sing a song that was written by Once More 6. And I pray to God he releases that song because it's like so dear to my heart. Okay. It goes like, you showed me that you loved me when you died on the cross, regardless of my weaknesses. Lord, I'm in love with you. You showed me that you loved me when you died on the cross, regardless of my weaknesses. Lord, I'm in love with you. Oh Lord, I am in love with you. Jesus, yes, I'm in love with you. How long do I have? Oh Lord, I am in love with you. Jesus, yes, I'm in love with you. Thank you.
Nomandla, thank you so much. That was beautiful. It's so, I don't know, it makes me so emotional personally when I think
Mhm.
about the love of God, um,
Mm,
and the lengths that he went to in order
true,
to show me how much he loved me and in order to
true.
salvage my life. It's just beautiful. And how can I not love
Mhm.
him? That's a beautiful song. Shout out to Once More Six.
Once
Umzulu
more,
Nomandla ne
say.
once more. Uthi ucela ukuthi urelease le ngoma. Sicela wenze, please. You've got all the time in the world. You locked out, man. So excuse. We
Yeah.
just want to remind our viewers on the comment section, please interact with us. Let us know what you think so far about the interview. Send through your questions as well. That I haven't touched on already about Nomandla Sandra. Let's get into
Yo,
your music
that's a tricky
journey.
one. I hope they don't ask me funny questions.
No, no, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. See what's in us, George.
In Jesus' name.
I see Jolie. Hallelujah. No, I'm kidding.
Amen.
I'm just really being silly. Yeah, so let's get into your musical career. I mean, you've been singing all your life, obviously. So
Yeah.
music is a part of you. But there came a time in your life where you said, I want to do this professionally. I want to be a recording artist. When did that
Yeah.
happen? And how did you approach it? How do you approach it in the sense that did you decide I want to record an album? This is the person that I'm going to record with. How did you also pick about those who
Okay. Funny enough, I haven't recorded my own album. Let me put it
Okay.
that out there, clear the air. Yeah. But my plan is to record my own this year.
Okay.
And yeah, I've started working with different people, local artists from Enkomazi, and I was a backing vocal for most of them back there. And I only realized that, you know what, it's gonna be something that I do extra in order for me to get the recognition for this talent that I have. So I remember in 2014 or 15, if I'm not mistaken, we went to KZN for a women's conference. And we were ministering there with a couple of friends of mine. And Ayanda Ntanzi, my friend, guys, he was ministering there as well. And then he was like, you know what, after the conference, so he was like, you know what, I don't know what, but what I know, Gutsi, next year I'm gonna feature you in my album. He was recording the following year. Then the following year, he called me, he kept his promise, unlike others that I won't mention in Jesus' name. He called me.
Hey, please, girl.
I'm joking. So he called me, and he was doing his Royal Priest live recording, and I was featured in one of his songs, Jesum Klengi. And I mean, prior that, I've been doing my own projects. I did my own show. It's crazy because it was like a show where we just went on stage and recorded, came up with songs on stage with a band that I was working with and a group of friends of mine. So that was crazy. Some of the songs that I'll be recording this year are a product of that live show that I did. So
Beautiful.
so I worked with Ayanda. I think my break came after that. In this music journey, it came after that because most people were like, wow, girl, where have you been hiding? Why aren't you doing something? You need to record, And in my mind, I'm thinking, you know what? Yes, I know that I want to record. I know that I've got songs, loads of songs. I've got a lot of ideas that I want to share with the world. But a part of me was telling me, Gutsi, you know what? Please spend most of the time growing learning about this journey than rushing to
Yeah.
record without knowing. Yabo. So I think that's what kept me waiting for such a long time. I was trying to understand, and at the same time I'm juggling work. I'm working 8 to 5. I'm juggling work and music. I work, and then after work I'm going to studios for rehearsals and stuff like that. So yeah, that's basically that. And then after that, opportunities happened. Opened. I got to work with a lot of people, the likes of Bushbuck Ridge Worship Explosion. I was doing 2 songs with them, and by the way, they won an award through the Bayeta song. And then
Congratulations.
thank you. And I also worked with Ulinda Dlamini in his current project as well. So I've got greater plans. I want to do something which will say Nomandla Sandra alone, not to say Nomandla featured in. It's not a bad thing, but it's always good to present something that's in your heart as well. You see.
Sure.
So I'll be doing that this year. Yeah.
All right, we'll be on the lookout and we will hold you accountable. Mga chula nje, and you go AWOL on us. We will call you and say, Nomandla, where's the line? I went to something. All right. Yeah. Nomandla, it's been such a pleasure hanging out with you. I think just in closure, I am someone who is who advocates for social awareness. As a human being, I think it's very important to be well balanced and know what's happening around you. There's a lot of questions I could ask you, but I'm going to ask you about this because you seem to have a heart for education. How important is it for an artist to educate themselves? Or should we just play it by ears? Or is it important? Is it something important?
You know what, Sis Nombulelone, I'm gonna share something that's dear to me and that worked for me.
Okay.
And this is not an implication to say someone must take this. This is the way, because different things work for different people.
Yeah.
So for me, I think it was very much important for me to get an education first before I pursued music as a career. So within, I don't know, but I felt like doing music alone, maybe I was lacking knowledge. Doing music alone was going to limit me to a certain extent. I wasn't going to explore a lot of things. I wouldn't advise someone to just do music. Explore something outside the music space as well. Do something, understand, if you want to make it, unfortunately, in this world, you gotta explore a lot of things. You want to be a musician, understand what is project management, because you're going to manage your own projects.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah. Understand public speaking, understand a lot of things.
Absolutely.
Like stand for a different things, because you are not just a singer, but you are someone whom someone somewhere is looking up to,
Yeah.
I grew with this thing. You would see, I don't want to be just a singer, but I want to bring back to my community. So I think social work was a career for me that actually linked with the ministry of the hearts that I have in my heart. So that's me, by the way. But I wouldn't advise anyone to just take it by ear. You know what? I'm just doing music. Explore, man. Puma, hamba, meet people, study entrepreneurship, because music is a business as well. Study business management.
You're absolutely right.
Let me, like study all these elements that will make you to be an outstanding artist out there. So if you've got companies that wants to sign a contract with you, study the act or that study how are you gonna draft concepts and stuff like that.
Yes, sir. Ma'am.
So explore, do something further than just saying, So bona ngendlela ngidawuphila ngama-gig. It's unfortunate this world has become digital, bruh. This is the new normal. You gotta do something.
Already we have a lockdown, you understand? Isn't it?
True.
It's already presenting a new way of life.
True.
So you are absolutely right. I loved that answer, and I hope that someone is encouraged. Nomandla Sandra, thank you so much for joining us. As you walk out, figuratively, please just give us your social media handles if people want to follow you and see what you're up to. Where can they find you?
Okay, it's Nomandla Sandra in all the social media platforms. I don't have TikTok, guys, for now. I don't know how to do it. But then
anyone can do TikTok, girl.
I'm gonna spend some time and just learn about it. So I'm on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. So just check Nomandla Sandra. And don't be confused. Sandra is my name, is my other name. That's very dear to my mom. So Nomandla Sandra are both my names. So that's it.
All right.
Yeah.
Nomandla, thank you so much once more for joining us. We wish you all the best in your journey. And I mean, you're doing a lot of things, and we just pray for Godspeed over your life.
Thank you, Nombu.
Thank you so much to our viewers as well. It's an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much to our viewers as well for tuning in to Gospel News SA live sessions. We're having another session tomorrow. We've got a great artist coming through. So keep your eyes locked on the socials. Also, shout out to Lerato Mashile for sharing some love. We are Tanda now, Nomandla. We are now out. Like I said, so same time, same place. Bye.